Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, Russell Wilson has signed with the New York Giants, and there is a lack of momentum to ban the Tush push. I'm going to explain why all of this is good news for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. I'm Chase Sr. This is Eagles Now by Chat Sports, and no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, as always, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day and supporting the program. Adam Schefter with the news yesterday, and I did a YouTube short on this, releasing some of my immediate thoughts and an instant reaction video that was up on the channel, but I want to expand on this, right? And Schefter with the news that you all know by now that the Giants and Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson reached agreement today on a one-year deal worth up to $21 million. Of course, that news on Tuesday. It is now Wednesday as of this recording, and that includes $10.5 million in guaranteed money. And so the 10-time Pro Bowl selection had been in discussions with the Giants, Browns, and Steelers, but he's opting for New York, where he actually won a Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning inside MetLife Stadium, and now Wilson is returning there as the Giants' projected starting quarterback. This, of course, means that the Giants are no longer in the running for Aaron Rodgers, who is still clearly the better quarterback as compared to Russ. His final 10 games last year for Rodgers, he threw 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He started to play well at the end of the season, whereas Russell Wilson's play really started to dip off. And so this is the Giants quarterback room going into 2025. Russell Wilson, the projected starter, Jameis Winston as the backup, and then Tommy DeVito, Gabagoo, as the third-string quarterback. And think about what the Giants have done at the most important position in all of sports, signing Russ, Jameis Winston, re-up with Tommy DeVito. Does this mean that New York doesn't love the quarterbacks in this 2025 class? I think Cam Ward is going to be a really good player at the next level. I think he's going to go number 1 to the Tennessee Titans. I was saying that before he balled out at his pro day. But do the Giants not like Shedeur Sanders, possibly with that number 3 pick? Or the Giants might think that the Cleveland Browns, given Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles for a second time, and he's been awful for Cleveland, are going to take Shedeur Sanders at number 2. Of course, there's a power play that could be in play. Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders strong-arming Cleveland and saying, yeah, we're not going to that hapless organization. What this could lead to is that the Giants take Travis Hunter at number 3. I think that he can be the NFL's version of Shohei Ohtani. I think that he's a really good wide receiver prospect at the next level. I think he's a really good corner prospect at the next level. We've never seen that work out full-time for a player in NFL history, and I'm interested to see what happens, how it goes for Travis Hunter, because that's a lot of snaps. He's not the biggest dude. I did see him at the NFL Combine. He's every bit of 6'1", 6'2", a little bit larger than I thought in stature, but it's certainly a risk, and it's a lot of snap load on a player like Travis Hunter. But he's an all-world talent who could go to New York. And while that's still a threat to Philadelphia, the Giants are still left without a long-term option at the quarterback position. I'm not scared of Russell Wilson in 2025. He's 5-1 against Philadelphia. He was 5-0 with the Seattle Seahawks, but last year we saw Philadelphia dominate the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Joe Schoen, the Giants general manager, who famously let Saquon Barkley walk, thank you, Joe Schoen and the New York Giants, he has spent money this offseason like he's desperate to keep his job. And the seat is certainly hot. I was at the NFL Combine. I heard him talk about it. He said, yeah, we're entering year 4. We need to start to win. And I think that what the Giants have done in free agency shows that they're a desperate organization. And because they're desperate and Shane and Brian Dable are trying to keep their jobs, they've overspent and overpaid on a lot of free agents who are good players getting great money. And they still, in my opinion, don't have a franchise quarterback. Did Russell Wilson play better in 2024 for Pittsburgh than he did in seasons prior with the Denver Broncos? For sure. But this is a player who precipitously has gone downhill in terms of overnight seemingly going from being an elite quarterback with Seattle, and then he goes to Denver and he just lost it. And the Broncos gave up so much in that trade. They gave him a big contract, and all he did in 2022 was give them 16 touchdowns, 11 picks. And then in 2023, 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. I know that those numbers aren't bad in 2023, but that's not what you're paying for. When you give up all that draft capital and then you give him a huge contract, I think Pete Carroll is a winner at the end of the day because he saw the writing on the wall. He saw Russ starting to decline and him needing a lot of pieces and support around him to be the best player that he can be. And Seattle fleeced Denver. But look, I'll give credit where credit is due. Russ goes to Pittsburgh last year, and after missing some games to start the year, he comes in for Justin Fields, and he played solid football, sub 64% on the completion rate, nearly 2,500 yards in 11 games, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks, a QBR of 51.3, his highest since his final season with the Seahawks. But it really was a tale of two seasons. When Russ first came in, he played well. Offense was doing well. The defense is one of the more elite units in the NFL. Week 7 through 13, the Steelers went 5-1. They averaged nearly 29 points per game. Russ put up 271 yards per game, 10 touchdowns, 5 turnover-worthy plays, and an EPA of 28.72. But then in weeks 14 through 19, the defense fell apart. The offense spiraled out of control, and Russell Wilson himself did not play well. 1-5, points per game went down by 12. His yards per game went down by nearly 100, and he only threw 8 touchdowns, 5 turnover-worthy plays, and his EPA was minus 37.2. There are some encouraging Russ stats that the Giants probably looked at here. Adjusted completion percentage last year, 77.6%, 11th. Big-time throw percentage, 5.7. That was 6th. He was 3rd in turnover-worthy play percentage. EPA per attempt on 3rd and long, he ranked 4th there. The downfield yards per attempt, number 1, 14.9 in the NFL. And then downfield EPA per attempt was also 1st. But at this point, Russell Wilson's game throwing it is pretty much throwing long balls down the sideline. So if you take away the middle of the field, which also isn't his strength, and then you take away the sideline shot, which is what the Eagles did such a good job of, Russell Wilson really struggles. And he's not the same athlete with the getaway speed and improvisational ability that we saw when he was with Seattle, when, admittedly, he owned Philadelphia. More stats with Russ for Pittsburgh for the full season that he played those 11 games: 16th in points per game, 18th in yards per game, 18th in yards per play, 12th in third down percentage, 29th in the red zone. It's not like he's going to a stacked roster. He's going to a roster that I still think has a lot of question marks. Now, the defense is pretty good. You do have Malik Neighbors at that wide receiver spot. Outside of that, though, questions at wide receiver 2, 3, and 4, questions at tight end, questions at running back, and still a lot of question marks along that offensive line. So the bottom line here, this is good news for Philadelphia. The Eagles are still the cream of the crop inside the NFC and inside the NFC East, with competition set to come from a team like the Washington Commanders. But if the Philadelphia Eagles can stay healthy, the Eagles have a chance at a dynastic run. They are still one of the youngest teams in football. A lot of their offensive core players are young, in their primes, and under contract. And I know that they've lost a few starters on defense and some marquee players on defense. But a lot of their building blocks are also young players too. Where are the real ones at? If it's Eagles over everybody else all the time, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video right now. The translation, if you're go Birds all day, every day, hit that thumbs up icon. Yeah, Eagles are Super Bowl champs. You know where I got this shirt? On Fanatics. You know what link I used? chatsports.com/EaglesSB. Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl MVP, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, looking to embark on a dynastic run for Philadelphia. And what a performance it was for the Eagles team. You've seen me wear this hoodie, plenty of shirts, hats, jerseys, merchandise available. celebrate that Eagles Super Bowl 59 victory at chatsports.com/EaglesSB and get your merchandise today. Want to talk about this as well. Is the brotherly shove here to stay? There isn't enough movement to ban the play that the Packers want eliminated from the National Football League. And as we know, this storyline picked up a lot of steam at the NFL Combine when the Packers proposed a rule change to take away the tush push, citing safety concerns and it not being a football play. Here's the thing. The NFL did a study. There were 0 injuries that happened and took place because of the brotherly shove. So it's not a dangerous play, contrary to a lot of speculation out there. This proposal needs 24 owners to vote yes on the ban among the 32 teams in the NFL. And according to the Washington Post, it doesn't have a lot of backing. Quote, it's unclear whether the Packers' proposed ban of the tush push will get the 24 votes among the 32 NFL owners necessary to be approved. From an NFL source, not sure it can get to 24. The sentiment is mixed on the NFL Competition Committee about the proposal. The owners meet next week. You know my stance on the tush push. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would run it. Don't punish the Philadelphia Eagles for executing something unique that they're capable of executing at an elite level. Not every team has an offensive line like the Eagles. Not every quarterback across the league can squat a house like Jalen Hurts. The funniest thing about the tush push, the Packers are trying to ban it. I've seen them try to run quarterback sneaks, and one play in particular, Jordan Love just tripped all over himself. It is a play that can't be taken out of the NFL just because one team excels with it. It's not an automatic play. It should be here to stay, and it is a football play because it takes timing, anticipation, skill, practice. And what is football about? Physicality, brute force, beating you up at the line of scrimmage, adapting and evolving, and stopping what other teams do well. And I thought what Nick Sirianni said at the NFL Combine when explaining the tush push and the nuances behind it was absolutely fantastic.
I've seen some of the stuff like, about what that it's an automatic play or, that it's not we work really, I almost feel a little insulted because we work so hard at that play. The amount of things that we've looked into how to coach that play, the fundamentals, there's 1,000 plays out there, but it comes down to how you teach the fundamentals and then how the players go through and do with the fundamentals. I can't tell you how many times we practice the snap, we practice the play because it's not a play that it's easy to practice. There's different ways we figured out how to practice it. The complements that come off of it that can create explosive plays, we saw it in big-time games this year, and the fact that it's an automatic thing, that we work really, really hard, and our guys are talented at this play, and so it's a little insulting to say it's just we're good at it, so it's automatic. We work really hard at it, and you see it throughout the league. I mean, we saw it in the championship games that a team failed at it and ultimately didn't end up winning the game because of it. I watch every week. I watch every first and goal red zone fail every single time. And sometimes that first and goal starts at the 1, and you see the team not be able to get in because they're not able to do that. And so I think that it's a skill that our team has because of the players that we have, the way the coaches coach it. There's just so much time put into it. The fact that it's a successful play for the Eagles and people want to take that away, I think is a little unfair.
Now, the casuals never hear a response like that because they're not willing to open up their ears to listen to a great explanation of everything that goes into the brotherly shove and the tush push. And Nick Sirianni outlined it perfectly right there. Again, if other teams could do it, they would. What happened in the AFC Championship game? Bills, Chiefs. The Bills tried to run their version of the tush push on multiple occasions, and the Kansas City Chiefs stuffed them time and time again. It was a big reason why the Chiefs were victorious and beat the Bills again in the AFC Championship game to make it to the Super Bowl. Steve Spagnuolo also said, upon film study, we realized that Josh Allen always goes to the left, and they were able to stop it. Yet teams cannot stop Jalen Hurts, this Eagles offensive line, and Philadelphia's iteration of the brotherly shove. But no one likes us. We don't care. Be sure to hit that subscribe button here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Appreciate all of your support. We're going live a little bit later today, so we'll see you then.